My name is Rebecca Barson, and I am the chair of the DC Leadership Council. I've been involved in JUFJ since the summer of 2016 when I attended a house party on JUFJ's affordable housing work. I'm thrilled to be at the Heschel Awards and introducing this video that will highlight some of JUFJ's work in DC over the past year.
My name is Hannah Jacobson Blumenfeld, and I've been involved in JUFJ since 2019. Shortly after the 2020 Heschel Vision Awards, JUFJ and our partners in the DC Initiative on Racial Equity finally won passage of a landmark racial equity bill called the REACH Act that moves DC one step closer to being an equitable place to live. The bill establishes an Office of Racial Equity that evaluates the district's policies and programs through a racial equity lens. It mandates racial equity training for all DC employees and requires the government to incorporate racial equity into employee performance reviews. It also requires most bills to be assessed for racial equity to make more clear the possible impacts the legislation may have on Black and other communities of color. In the spring, we said a fond farewell to the former campaign manager of the DC Paid Family Leave campaign and former Heschel Vision Award winner, Joanna Blattner, who left JUFJ to work for DC Council member Janice Lewis George. We miss you, Joanna. Thanks to the strong coalition foundation that Joanna laid, and thanks to incredible work by JUFJ staff, community members, partners, and more, when paid family leave and medical leave was threatened at the beginning of the budget cycle with hundreds of millions of dollars in cuts, we successfully fought to not only protect, but to expand this critical legislation. Now, most DC workers can take up to 6 weeks of personal medical leave instead of 2, and the program is set to expand to 12 weeks each of parental, family caregiving, and personal medical leave if funds allow. The DC budget campaign heated up in the summer, and hundreds of JUFJers and partners took to the streets and took to the tweets. We and our partners in the Under 3 DC and Just Recovery DC coalitions helped to transform the city budget by successfully pushing for a game-changing tax increase on the city's highest paid residents. Thanks to the tireless work of everyone involved in this campaign, and thanks to a more progressive DC council than we had last year, this increase will provide nearly $170 million per year to fund housing for 2,400 families experiencing homelessness, much needed higher wages for early childhood educators, and basic income for some of DC's poorest residents. Thank you for being part of our work over the past year and for working with us over the next year and beyond to build a stronger and more just DC.